Hi. Today has been a day. Let's see. I want to pull. I know I have like multiple decks, but for some reason I can't. Oh, I don't feel like getting up. So, hi everybody. Hello. Today is the 17th of October, at least for another 20, 40, 30 some minutes, 35 minutes. Today has been an interesting brain day, and by that I mean Mercury is in retrograde. I was gonna say Mercury is in Pisces. It's just like I got some gummy bears. I just came back from the store. I got some ice cream sandwiches. I haven't had ice cream sandwiches in a long time, probably years. I don't eat ice cream too often. I like it, but I just don't. I do want to use these though. I think I'm low key over these super new moons. I've been feeling so tired. I've finally been able to sleep though. I guess there were some things that I needed to talk about, and I talked about them a few nights ago. And since then, not only have I been able to sleep, I haven't been getting this feeling that I'm not talking about something. So that's cool. Take it as it resonates. Y'all know the drill. Because, like I said, today's an interesting brain day where some things just like neurons are not fully connecting. I want to see what's up. What's the intention? I just want to see what's up, even though I literally just did something. Just to see what's going on, you know? What's the energy like? Let's see. I want to give these a shuffle first, since I'll be reading the other cards primarily. Oh, I could do one of those one things I haven't done in a while, where I pick one of the cards. I'm like, not even center. That's fine. And then we pull the three cards around it to see what's up. Maybe, I don't know. 9 times out of 10, I come on without a plan. Well, there's that Ten of Swords with the Emperor. That makes sense. Sun card with the Ten of Swords. Four of Cups with the Sun. King of Cups with the Four of Cups. And last but not least, the Moon with the Four of Cups. The Four of Cups is interesting because whenever we miss out on something, we don't actually know how it would have worked out. Right? I feel like a lot of times we're like, man, like that was my big break. That was my moment. That was it. But again, it's like we don't know because we didn't actually experience it. And it could have actually not been what it was cracked up to be. I just feel like it's important to clarify that so that we're not overly fantasizing, overly romanticizing things in the past when we've got a whole future to get to. Right? Okay. I need to stop eating these gummy bears because when I start eating too much sugar, my body yells at me. And it yells at me in a language that I don't like. And that's all I'm going to say. I felt these and I was like, oh, these feel fairly fresh today. And they are. So I didn't go for Albanese today because these felt fresh enough. All right. Let's get into this. Let's see what's up. What's up with the collective? I don't know. Let's look at potentials. Okay. Let's look at a higher potential. Higher potential. Well, oh. Hmm. Hmm. How do we? The card that came out is manifestation, and challenges was at the bottom of the deck. Challenges manifesting. Oh, breakthrough. Love it. Love it. Releasing. Number 32, releasing at the bottom of the deck. Releasing is purification, spiritual cleansing, and letting go. You know, it's interesting because I was talking about the Four of Cups, right? And how it isn't always, it isn't necessarily what we thought it would have been or what it could have been. It's like this weird, like, it's like from a space of dissatisfaction in the present, we go to something in the past, hold on to it, run with it, and we look at all the ways that that could have put us in a different now moment, when in reality that might not have been the case, because again we don't know, right? And let's say, like, even if, for example, let's say you're talking about, I don't want to use stocks, a job, right? Let's say that there was someone offered you a job, maybe it was a startup or whatever, a relationship, whatever, and they end up reaching a certain point and you're like, man, if I would have like went after that, if I would have done this, if I would have done that, then I would have been there. But that's not necessarily the case, because if you were in that position, then you would have been a factor in the state of that thing. And depending on what energy you're in, it might not necessarily have come to be what it is, right? Earlier today, I talked about how our abundance isn't tied to people and it's not tied to things. And when we're in a space of believing that it is, then we encounter problems. I ain't got to necessarily get into everything that came out, but it's about knowing where your abundance lies. Because we had manifestation is the first card that came out, but I wanted two cards. And I was like, I could take challenges at the bottom of the deck, but I don't want to. And then breakthrough came out. Oh, there's two cards. Oh. The Guardians are here. I didn't even know. So breakthrough and the Guardians came out. But it was like literally laying like this. So all I saw was breakthrough. And then I went to pick it up and I was like, wait, what's that? And then I saw the moon and I was like, oh, I think that's the Guardians. And it was. So we have the breakthrough and Guardians, and then at the bottom of the deck was releasing. So whatever challenges we were having, it's time to release them. How do I want to do this? 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 Shirosaki is a building style or a building. One of my aunts visited today, and she brought White Castle. I was like, "Oh snap, White Castle! I haven't seen White Castle in a minute. I ain't had White Castle in a few years. Last time I had White Castle was probably the same year I had an ice cream sandwich." And I was like, I used to hate White Castle because you could never get all of the onions off. Just like back in the day, McDonald's, like even when I said no onions, they would have those like shredded onions all over it. And no matter how hard I tried, there would still be onions on those burgers. So I was just like, you know what? I don't want McDonald's. Because even when I say no onions, they still give me onions. King of Swords and the Eight of Cups. What are we doing with this? All right, focus, Patrick. Focus. So we have manifestation, we have the Guardians, and we have breakthrough. And then we have releasing at the bottom of the deck. But we had challenges there. So I feel like that's important to note. Challenges and releasing. Sure, I'll do it. So, oops. Manifestation is number 28, I believe. 29, sorry. Manifestation is prosperity, fortune, and pure intentions. 29 is the Wheel of Fortune and the Hermit. So we'll go looking for the Wheel of Fortune and the Hermit. 5 of Cups, 8 of Cups, 3 of Wands is at the bottom of the deck. This is interesting because the 3 of Wands is going in the direction that the 8 of Cups is looking in. This to me feels like this energy. And I'm still trying to figure this out, honestly. I mean, right off the bat, it's feeling like us being overly dependent on certain guardians keeps us from developing and maturing ourselves, right? It's like if your parents or whoever constantly bail you out of situations, if you never have to be responsible, you never grow, you never evolve, you never change, you never learn because you never have to. Almost feels like some tough love energy, but we'll see. So I'm going looking for the Wheel of Fortune and the Hermit. Hold up, wait. I'm supposed to be looking for justice. Justice in the Hermit. So I'm gonna keep the Wheel of Fortune in the deck, but I mean, Ace of Pentacles and the Eight of Wands with that Wheel of Fortune. Like, wait, that's gorgeous. 32, 37, and 4. Maybe it's just worth noting. So with the Wheel of Fortune, we have this Ace of Pentacles, and I love like between the Wheel and the Ace of Pentacles, it's almost the same shape, but the Ace of Pentacles is solid, and the Wheel of Fortune isn't. So it's like we're filling in the gaps, and it's a pretty quick energy. The Fool was right before that, so we're looking for justice and the Hermit. Sorry. Okay. Oh, that was quick. Ooh. So we have the Six of Swords and the Two of Cups at the bottoms. Six of Swords and the Two of Cups. Six of Swords with releasing at the bottom of the deck is interesting. I don't know how I'm feeling this today. I'm so tired. So tired. This, like, for the past few days, all I've wanted to do is sleep. And I've been getting sleep at night. I've been sleeping pretty good too. Time is an illusion. Honestly, so in my own personal life, I'm going through a little bit of difficulty right now because I'm trying to complete some things, and it's like it's not that I'm incapable of doing what it is that I need to do in the time that I need to do it, but it's just looking like it might not happen. But also, things work out in mysterious ways. And there are a lot of things that I don't know, including how much time it's going to take me to do everything that I need to do. And I keep setting these deadlines for myself, but I'm not focusing as much as I could be. Obviously, by the number of times I come on, like, hey, everybody, so I'm going to stop going live so much because I have things in my own personal life to do. But things happen in ways that are so mysterious. Like, I've pulled things like this off before. I mean, it's only October, what, 17th? 18th now. Well, 17th still where I am. So it's not impossible, but it does require work. What does that have to do with this? Excellent question. So the Ace of Swords and the Page of Pentacles came out around the Hermit, and the Moon and the Two of Pentacles came out around Justice. And then we had the Ace of Pentacles with the Eight of Wands that came out around the Wheel of Fortune. So I'm going to go back and we're actually going to pull it. I know I should have just kept it. Six of Swords, the Sun, and the Page of Swords at the bottom, but the Two of Swords is right here with the King of Cups. But what does that mean, Patrick? Figure it out. I'm sorry. Not really. And the reason why I ended up pulling this out is because here we see the choice between two. It's between two worlds, basically. And here comes the Ace of Pentacles with the Eight of Wands. This to me, it speaks of an energy where things are a lot more, when things manifest a lot more rapidly, because there's not as much resistance that impedes their manifestation. So the energy at large supports what we're manifesting. There's no internal resistance to what it is that we're manifesting. We're acting in alignment and we're keeping ourselves in that space of alignment. We're not second guessing it, we're not doubting it, we're not putting anything on it that would slow it down. And when we do that, this wheel turns so quickly that it literally becomes our experience with that Ace of Pentacles. It's a wheel that's constantly in motion, constantly churning out things that we want and desire. And again, Every time, oh, look at that. Look at it. Look at it. Look at this. Y'all see that? The moons. Every time I've been seeing the moon card lately, it's about the things that which is in the dark will come to the light. But this darkness, it's the womb, it's the void. So we're gonna go looking for the Empress, and I'm pretty sure I didn't see her, but it doesn't matter because I already put all the cards together. Um, High Priestess, Empress, Moon, Mother Maiden Crown. Anyway, it ain't all about that. It ain't about that this time. Well, it might be. So the moon card is that which is in the dark is going to come to the light, but that which is in the dark, to me, it's starting to take on this energy of us holding the light in a space where it does not yet exist. This is us holding on to the energy before it becomes physical and standing in that and holding that torch, standing our ground in the space of the night until the energy of justice brings it into being. But again, if we put doubt on it, it'll slow it down. And talked about that earlier today. So we have this message following through. Nice. And then around the Hermit is the Page of Pentacles and the Ace of Swords. Let Me Blow Your Mind just popped into my mind. I literally was just thinking about that song a few days ago because that was my introduction to Gwen Stefani. Drop your glasses, shake your whoo. Says face hot red. Face red hot like you're having hot flashes. Which one? This one? I don't know. This one classic. If I had to give you more, it's only been a year. Cause I've got my foot in butter and I ain't gone nowhere. It took a while to get me here, so I'm gonna take my time. This water is hitting just right. I'm so tired, y'all. I've talked about the Page of Pentacles here lately, and the story about how she picks from the tree. Well, that's another thing. All these little synchronicities. Um, Let Me Blow Your Mind just came into my mind, but it's surprising because it's not surprising. It's surprising because this energy of in this transitional space we're holding the lighter frequency and we're not giving into the darkness around us, and how that comes into being and how it may happen a little bit quicker than what we think because the suit of earth is so slow, but it may actually happen quicker than we think. And I think that's that energy of like this let me blow your mind type energy, because there is a knowledge and an awareness and an understanding here. But when it happens, it's like we're still surprised. Y'all hear the ambulance or the fire truck or the police or whoever that is? They all know. Because it's like we found this knowledge, we found this knowing, but it hasn't, it's just, it feels really big. That's all clarifying manifestation. What did I say? It's in my phone. Let me find it really quick. That which we shine light on are the things that continue to shine, or something like that. I don't know why I rearranged all my apps. I was like, oh, I'm gonna put the apps that I always use at the top of the screen, and now I don't know where anything is. I don't know where anything is. The things that we shine light on are the things that continue to shine. And again, that's in the space of this energy with the moon and the two of pentacles. Even if we can't see it, and I know I talk about it all the time, but that's why I said a while ago, if we're relying on our 3D physical experience to show us immediately or within whatever time frame the things that we know are true for us or the things that we're manifesting for ourselves, we're doing it the we're doing it the hard way, because the physical is not that quick, and we're going to get discouraged, we're going to get disappointed, and then we're going to have these feelings of like, well, if it's not working, I might as well go back and do whatever else I was doing. It's like my mama with Pepsis. She was like, I stopped drinking Pepsi so I could lose weight or whatever, but I ain't losing no weight, so I'm gonna start drinking Pepsi. And then she started gaining weight again. So it turns out not drinking the Pepsi actually was keeping weight off of you. But you wasn't doing any more than that. So you thought that, oh, fine, I'll just go back and drink Pepsi if I ain't gonna lose weight. And then you start drinking the Pepsi again and you gain weight, right? It's kind of sort of that Four of Cups energy where it's like it's not our actual experience. So we don't know, either it's not or it was. So we don't know what would have been otherwise. And so we can't so confidently say, oh, I shouldn't do this. Or I shouldn't have done this because of whatever. If I wouldn't have done it, I would have been in a better state. Or, oh, I should have done that because if I would have done that, I'd be in a better state. And just like we don't know from the past to the present, we don't know from the present to the future either. That's why we hold the ground. That's why we hold the position. We stand our ground. We hold the light. The things that we shine light on are the things that continue to shine. And when we start shining light on all of the worries and anxieties and fears, then those things start to shine. Those things start to become our experience. And then when they become our experience, we feel validated. Ooh, the cards are mixed up now. I like it this way. So we have the Eight of Wands and the Ace of Swords now with this Hermit energy. I feel like the the Eight of Wands and the Ace of Swords with this Hermit, this is the removal of internal resistances and blockages to whatever it is that we're manifesting through this space of knowledge and awareness. And after we have that, then it frees it up on the outside to come in a little quicker. And now the Page of Pentacles is the center of this energy, and we have the Ace of Pentacles and the Wheel of Fortune. This is our experience changing for the better. And it's not necessarily immediate. It can happen in very small and very incremental ways that maybe we don't notice. But unfortunately, if we don't notice them, it doesn't make it any better or easier to not begin to anti manifest, to work against what it is that we're manifesting. 29. Let's see what this is about. Manifestation. Let's see. Manifestation resonates to the power of prosperity and abundance, thriving with positive fortune and magical creation. This sacred ray empowers and reattunes the soul to its internal and external, nature. Sorry, we're gonna read that one again. So this sacred ray empowers and reattunes the soul to its internal and external natural state of richness and magnificence. When the soul manifests abundance based upon pure intentions, greatness is born, poverty consciousness is erased, and lasting inner fulfillment is delivered. Lasting inner fulfillment is delivered. Well, Eight of Wands sounds like a delivery to me. Special delivery. I've been talking about that too. What I say? Because I was like, if you have something delivered, you gotta be there when it gets delivered. If you get it delivered to your house, you gotta be home to get it. This may be one of the things that you gotta sign for. And since it requires a signature, they're not just gonna leave it. But it's an energetic signature. And an energetic signature is something, it's like an energetic fingerprint, right? When it comes to energetic signature, I'm thinking like there's this vessel or this craft that has traveled through this space. And using this certain type of technology, we can look at the residue left behind, or we can look at the things that have been in this space. Now, that right there is very unique. That is the energetic signature of this vessel. That is the energetic signature of this thing. But if you didn't know that, you wouldn't know that. And if you couldn't see it or detect it or observe it, you wouldn't know it either. And it feels like we're in the process of discovering. It's like partially discovery, partially creating our energetic signature. But again, for it to be a signature, it has to be unique. And that's why this hermit energy is here. Because this is justice in the hermit. So that's internal balance. This internal balance has to happen in order for this manifestation to happen on the outside. Because again, if it encounters any resistance internally or externally, it'll slow it down to the point that it might prevent it altogether. And prevention only happens because it's slower than, it's like, let's say that this, it would take 30 days to come in, whatever you're manifesting, and you put so much doubt and other things on it that it takes 30 years, right? And then let's say that something happens and now you're like, oh, well, that's impossible. So you add 300 years to it. So something that was supposed to take 30 days in total now takes 330 years and 30 days in total. But your lifespan isn't that long. Now, the thing wasn't necessarily prevented from manifesting, it's just delayed so much that you're not going to be around to experience it. You might as well say it's canceled. That was a weird thought. Let's just continue, shall we? Your ability to manifest is golden. Money flows easily and freely into your life. All that is asked of you is to keep your intentions and to keep your intentions clear and focused on higher frequencies of prosperity. Abundance can also be measured inwardly, which inevitably will overflow from the inside out, thus manifesting a waterfall of outer abundance. Remember this. You also need to engage in manifestation exercises on a consistent basis, or has this perhaps been neglected lately? So the crystals here are citrine and tiger's eye, with goldenrod being the essential oil. It starts from the inside. Well, it's easier to manifest inside out than it is to manifest outside in. That's for gosh darn sure. Partly because when we get it on the outside, we don't care anymore. Right? If you got paid up front and you never had to go to work, would you ever go to work? Some people would. Some people wouldn't. Some people's like, I already got the money, so I'm good. I talked about that lately. Half now, half later. Contracts. I think. Because I've been seeing the contract card and it's like you get the reward of this contract once you fulfill the terms and conditions. Holding on to the vision, no matter what your external environment brings you, doing the inner work that leads you to some kind of clarity, and then the will does that, takes the inside outside. It's like a water wheel. And as it's spinning, it's like bringing these inside things, like as it's slowly turning. Like, let's say that this Two of Cups, because I just cut the deck right to it. This Two of Cups is on the inside. So you come into union with yourself, you come into a more unconditional love with yourself. So this starts on the inside, right? We have this Wheel of Fortune that slowly, 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 slowly turns until now it's on the outside. And then it continues like the Wheel of Fortune is constantly turning. So whatever you're putting into yourself, and I've literally just put it right back into the deck where it was. Whatever you're putting into yourself, you're always getting out. So if you've put nothing but things that you don't want to manifest into yourself, it's like there's going to be this period of time before the new stuff starts to come, before the new stuff starts to come out, that you're still getting old stuff. But as you handle old stuff from your new perspective, it's almost like it sifts through and sorts through those things quicker, and it actually speeds up the wheel a little bit. And that is that temperance energy where we're healing and we're evolving and not just waiting. Because it's almost like it's sometimes it's more condition based rather than time based, right? Sometimes it's not wait 30 years and then you get it. Sometimes it's like do this, do this, do this, do this, and then do that. And once you fulfill all these requirements, it'll be handed over to you. But if you never fulfill the requirements, then you never get the thing. Moving on, the Guardians and Breakthrough. The Guardians are shielding, defense, and warning. 37. Breakthrough is number 4. Leap of faith, freedom, and new beginnings. I've been seeing new beginnings a lot lately, but that makes sense for what I'm manifesting and for what I'm acting in alignment with. Okay, so this feels like a you, us. This feels like an us energy. Because here's whatever it is that we're manifesting, right? Because again, this is the end goal. This is what we're aligning to right now. But this is kind of sort of the space of what we have to get through to get there. So either with guardians, you'll be so closed off from it and defensive against it that you'll never get it. Or with this breakthrough energy, you'll take the leap and you'll allow for this stuff to be. Because we have the Ace of Swords, the Ace of Pentacles, and the Page of Pentacles. That's all like brand new energy. The Eight of Wands is rapid. And then we have the Moon card and the Two of Pentacles, which is like almost the limiting step for all of this. But while we're in the space of the moon, there are more things that we're learning that we're getting clear on. This moon card feels like an understanding of subtle forces and energetics. What was that? Bioenergetics. I think it was bioenergetics, man. I had this one professor, his class was at like 7:30 in the morning, and he was the most monotone man. And it was a power hour. And so everybody just be falling asleep in that class. There was this one dude, he was just like straight up sleep one day. I was laughing until I started falling asleep. But anyway, one of the professors just one day he just randomly yelled bioenergetics, and he like ran from one side of the room to the other. I was like, oh my gosh, what just happened? And I think we were talking about photosynthesis. I think it's when we started the photosynthesis unit. And photosynthesis is interesting because it's one of the natural ways that we convert the energy of sunlight into an energy that can actually be used. And that's why plants are so magnificent, right? Because they turn sunlight into actual usable energy, like they actually use it. And there's this real. I'm going to go looking for the Page of Wands and the King of Wands. Two of Cups at the bottom of the deck, Three of Pentacles, and the Four of Pentacles. Oof. Either you will or you won't. It's up to you. You get the choice. You get to choose. The reason why I'm going for the Page of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles is photosynthesis. It basically works off of excitation. Everything is excited by light. Everything is excited by energy. If you heat something up, things move quicker. And when they move quicker, there's more of that like thermokinetic energy or whatever, right? Like if you move a lot, then you start to warm up and you start to sweat, right? Um, and so, but it takes excitation and it harnesses it and it uses that excitation to make something that can be used for energy. And that's how it converts it. So the Page of Wands is going to be just like being excited, but with no real direction. The King of Wands is actually, that's interesting. The King of Wands is going to be doing something with that excitement to make something happen. Five of Swords, Eight of Pentacles. This is weird. This real weird. So we have the Knight of Cups and the Queen of Cups. The Knight of Cups and the Queen of Cups came out around the Page of Wands, which is maybe what we want to happen. With the King of Wands, though, we have the Four of Cups and the Strength card. This is kind of page heavy because we have a lot of new energy. And if the end result is a lot of new energy, what's not going to get us there is fixed energy. King of Wands, fixed fire. Leo. Hey, look, there's another Leo card, Strength. With this Cancer card, Four Cups. So Four of Cups, King of Wands, and the Strength card. This to me feels like an energy of deprivation. This to me, it feels like this energy of like, if I forgo from this, if I'm strong enough to forgo from this, then eventually I'll get something that I want or something. I don't know. I don't know. This is weird. Maybe this is also us trying to convince ourselves that we're better off without something, which kind of sort of runs a little bit counter the narrative that I've been talking about, the story that I've been running, but not really. Because I feel like there is this part of us that's like, man, maybe I would have been better off if I had that. But then to counteract that, enter the ego. That's like, oh yeah, well I'm doing this and I'm doing that and I'm blah 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 whatever. I'm gonna become something that I never was or that I never would have been had we stayed together to prove to you what you had to lose out on. But if it took something to leave to put you in a space to do that, you probably never would have done it if that thing had stayed. And that's what I'm talking about. That's what I was talking about earlier. It's like if we're in a situation, our energy affects it. And so we can't say that the exact same thing would have happened had we been somewhere or had we not been somewhere. It's that principle of like when you observe something, it's inherently different. A lot of times I think they talk about that when we talk about quantum physics and like quantum computing and stuff like that. Because when you observe it, talking about light, talking about excitation, just the fact that your intention and your attention is on it gives it energy, which causes it to react in ways that it might not have necessarily had you not given it that. Right? Just like if I go out there now, if I stare at my dog long enough, he's going to jump on me. But if I stay in here, he's just going to stay in his kennel and go sleep. With the Page of Wands, we have the Knight of Cups into the Queen of Cups. Now, the Queen is a royal, is mature, but she's a cardinal energy. And if we have like Ace of Swords, Ace of Pentacles, Page of Pentacles, I feel like a younger cardinal energy is the way to go. Page of Wands is coming up with the Knight of Cups and the Queen of Cups. And the Knight of Cups is looking at the Queen of Cups. So I'm going to put that on the space of breakthrough because it's like if we move forward with this open heart energy, we'll get there. And we don't have to worry about anything else. Listen to your heart, listen to your intuition, listen to spirit, but it requires releasing. And I feel like we're releasing the past. Um, for releasing, I'm going to go looking for the Eight of Cups and the Six of Swords. Seven of Pentacles and Temperance at the cut. While we're in the space of temperance, we are doing work. We're cultivating things. There's that Page of Swords. Page of Swords is like the one card in this deck I don't like for whatever reason. I feel like I know that person. Hey, there's the Six of Swords. Six of Swords with the Page of Pentacles. I mean, with the Seven of Pentacles. Sorry. Let's give this a few shuffles. Souffles. I don't think I've ever had a souffle. Five of Pentacles. With the Six of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. Two of Swords and the Hanged Man. Five of Pentacles into the Six of Pentacles. This is an energy, since we're going from the five to the six, this is us finally being open to receiving assistance or help in some way. Right? I don't think we're necessarily going from being left out in the cold to immediately having enough to give other people. And then with the Two of Swords and the Hangman, this is indecision on top of indecision. With the Hangman, though, it feels like something that we know we should do, But with the Two of Swords, we just can't bring ourselves to do it. But whatever this egoic thing is, I mean, releasing is the card at the bottom of the deck that we're talking about. So we should probably release it. Maybe, maybe not. You got to. You can do what you want to do. Ooh, 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 ooh. Love that energy. Love that energy. I'm a fan of that energy. Ooh, the King of Pentacles and the King of Cups were together. Okay, I was about to. Oh, and there's the Seven of Pentacles again. Seven of Pentacles was at the bottom of the deck like the whole time I was shuffling. Working hard or hardly working. So we got. Let's start with the first one that came up. So around the Eight of Cups. So this is about releasing. I'm actually going to read releasing. Releasing is 32. 32 is the Hanged Man and the High Priestess. The Two of Swords, for me, is an energy connected to the High Priestess. And so the Hanged Man came out with the Two of Swords after the Five of Pentacles and the Six of Pentacles. It was the Five of Pentacles, the Six of Pentacles, the Two of Swords, and then the Hanged Man. And the Two of Swords with the Hangman, it's like you have two swords. You could use this sword or that sword to cut the Hangman free. But it's like, oh, like, which sword should I use to cut this Hangman free? Like, does it matter? I don't know. Maybe it does. It's indecision, but it feels like we know whatever it is that we need to know. We just don't. We're not in a position to accept it. Maybe sometimes it be like that. Oh, look at this. Look at this. The card behind releasing is the card that was at the bottom of the deck when manifestation came out. Challenges. Releasing challenges. Oh gosh. Oh, it's not challenges, it was attachment. I think I said challenges earlier too. Attachment was the card at the bottom of the deck while when manifestation came out. And then here's releasing. Attachment and releasing. Releasing attachment. If those ain't like two opposite energies, you got releasing and you got attachment. You have the guardians, which are stationary and defensive, and then you have breakthrough, which is like open and progressive, mobile. And then you have manifestation just sitting all by itself. And that's the thing about manifestation, though. We're always manifesting, we're constantly manifesting. If you have internal limitations, restrictions, and blockages, you'll manifest things that'll restrict and limit and block you on the external. It ain't always, not always somebody working against you. Sometimes it's you working against you manifest outside of you. And then it's like whoever wants to be used, just like there are people who are used to be a blessing to somebody else, right? Let's say you're manifesting a certain amount of money and bam, randomly somebody gives you that money and they're like, hey, here you go, have a nice day. And you're like, what? Like, I couldn't. Or you find it on the ground that somebody had to drop that money on the ground for you to find it on the ground. Not necessarily, but hopefully it was somebody that could afford to lose the money, right? I'm sure it is as you're manifesting it. But just like there are people who are glad to like be of assistance to you when you're manifesting something, there are people who are glad to work against you too when you're working against yourself. Releasing an attachment. I can't believe that. I can't believe it. I don't know why I can't believe it. That's what I told you about the Hermit. It was the Two of Pentacles and the Page of Pentacles and the Ace of Swords. Like when it actually happens, you're like, wow, like this is something that I was manifesting, but to actually receive it is like something completely different. It'll blow your mind. Releasing. I'll try my best. Oof, oof. It has not been a good eye day today. I've been staring at screens like all day doing homework. My eyes are tired. Releasing resonates to physical and spiritual clearing. This sacred ray imbues a healing and cleansing nature that is supportive of one's purification and inspires the power of inward reflection. Abundant with restorative but emetic light, this uplifting ray bathes the spirit, eradicates negativity, replenishes depleted energy, and returns the soul's power to its rightful state of absolute joy and passion. Release and let go of all the old programs. Purify your worries, toxic thoughts, beliefs, and woes of the past to make way for the new. Although this may seem like a challenge, there's the word challenge. This situation needs a more clear outlook and a rejuvenated state of being. This may also signify an opportunity to release a toxic situation. It's time to clean house. Don't worry though. After the purging and spiritual cleanup is over, the new energies will be pouring forth and you'll feel uplifted and energetic. Clear quartz and aqua aura are the crystals, with hyssop being the essential oil. As I was reading that, I could feel my right palm warm up a little bit, and that it's an energy of anxiety, right? So what was it? It was like my whole hand, and this is left, this is right. I know my left from my right, okay, but we primarily use the left. So my right palm started to warm up. If it's the middle of the palm, I'm pretty sure that correlates to the solar plexus, but it did feel like my entire hand as well. So there's this solar plexus slash entire right channel. The right channel is the one that's masculine, it's associated with thoughts and actions, and it is future tense. That's why it's anxiety, because there's this worry, there's this uncertainty of the future, but also a confusion on what to do right now. The solar plexus also holds our sense of sustenance. I don't think we know what to feed ourselves. That's what's making this more difficult. That's why you need to release these old things. It's like, how do you know? How do you know how to be someone that you've never been, or what you need? The question is, it's so hard for me to formulate, but it's basically like, if I've never done this before, how am I supposed to know what I need? Right? So let's say that you are preparing your body for something. And let's say it's an operation. Let's say you're having a colonoscopy, because we're talking about cleaning stuff up. And before you go in for the colonoscopy, you have to drink the whatever to clear your colon out so that when they do the colonoscopy, it ain't a bunch of bile and stuff backed up in there, right? And so it's this question of like, well, how do I know what to pour into myself? How do I know what will sustain and feed this new change, right? Let's say going to the Empress because I had said I was going to pull around the Empress and I never did. So let's do that now. Because it's like, is that the Emperor? The Emperor just fell on the table. The Emperor was between the Queen of Swords. I'll keep you on the table. The Emperor wants to be here for his Empress. Oh, isn't that sweet? Isn't that sweet? Well, here she is, literally right here. Wow. We're going to do it. The Emperor and the Empress were like right next to each other with two cards in between them. And so the card before the Emperor is next to the card. The card after the Emperor was next to the card before the Empress. And so I decided to just take them. So again, the Emperor is sitting between the Queen of Swords and this Page of Cups. So Emperor masculine energy, backed with this resurgence of emotion, backed with this ability to be open in a way that he's never been open before, is facing the truth of his Empress, and he likes it. I think he's into it. I think he's into it. Honestly, not gonna lie. But this Empress is sitting in between the Eight of Swords and the World. The World is Saturn. Eight of Swords is Gemini. I don't remember what it is. Let's just say it's Mercury and Gemini, because I don't know. Let's not say. I'll just say I don't know. It's a Gemini energy. I don't know. I did name tests on Facebook one time. This is why I stopped doing name test stuff on Facebook, because they never stop sending messages in Messenger. Excuse me. The reason why I pulled the Empress now is like it feels like this Empress energy is pregnant, but she doesn't know what to feed her baby. She doesn't know what to feed herself that will ultimately feed the baby, because she doesn't have a midwife or a doula or um, someone to tell her, like, here's your prenatal vitamins, make sure you're getting this and this and this, make sure you avoid these things. Also, fun fact, if you have a newborn baby, like honey probably isn't something to give your newborn baby, because honey has a lot of stuff in it and babies haven't developed immune systems yet. So that's one of the reasons why you probably shouldn't give young children honey, because there's a lot of stuff that floats in honey. And like I said, they don't have immune systems. Anyway, it feels like this Empress doesn't know what to feed herself to ensure that whatever she's giving birth to is healthy. And the reason why I laughed is because the Ten of Swords is right here. The Ten of Swords is right here, and I went looking for the Empress, and the Ten of Swords and the Empress came out for Sagittarius a minute ago. It's fine. But it was the same energy. It's like if you're not feeding life into yourself, or if you're not feeding life into what it is that you're creating, then don't expect for it to have a heartbeat, because you didn't put anything in it. But anyway, this is the question here. This is what it feels like. It's like, well, I don't have a basis. I don't have a basis for doing this. I've never done this before. I've never been this before. This Emperor is kind of sort of irrelevant. He's just over here admiring this Queen of Swords from this new Page of Cups position. He's emotionally available in whatever way he's available in now, and she's going through all of this over here, but I don't even know if he sees it. He's just like, wow, isn't she gorgeous? And the Eight of Swords in the World, it feels like old coping mechanisms, but I don't know if they're serving us anymore. because it's almost like when you cope, you're absent. And if you're absent from whatever it is that you're creating and manifesting, it's like babies have to be attended to because they can't really do anything for themselves. And that's what that feeling is. It is like this entire imbalance when it comes to the future, when it comes to actions and thoughts in the future, but it's like it stems from the solar plexus, but not necessarily in an acting way, but in a sustenance way. And I feel like with the Eight of Swords, oops, with the Eight of Swords in the World card, it feels like there's this energy of like you're doing better. It feels like there's this energy of like you're actually doing more for yourself than you would know or believe. And I was going to say it earlier, but I didn't say it. It's this energy of like the fact that you care is like it means that you're on path enough. It's almost like if you didn't care about what you were doing for yourself or what you're putting into yourself, if you weren't concerned when it comes to navigating a transitional space, that's when we would be concerned. Speaking of Sagittarius, I think that's why that energy came out for Sagittarius this time. Because last time Sagittarius came out with the Empress and the Ten of Swords. And that's when I was like, if you don't feed it anything, it's not going to grow. Or the time before last, they came out with that. Last time Sagittarius came out with the Devil and the Six of Wands. And there was this energy of like how Sagittarian can be its own biggest enemy because it holds so tightly to what it already knows. And it builds off of that. And the energy of Sagittarius, typically, it's fine because Sagittarius makes sure that they're learning from something credible. But the issue comes when you were deceived or when you're taught or something is instilled in you that actually doesn't benefit you. But Sagittarian energy, since it expanded so much on that, it would never question it. And so you would never be able to convince Sagittarius that an apple is not a butterfly because it's been a butterfly since they were like 5 or 4 or like a newborn. And why would my parents lie to me? Because your parents are the ones who thought it would be funny if you walked around calling apples butterflies. That's why. That's why. I can't remember why did I feel that energy? Because when you don't question it, that's when you need to be concerned. That's why I talked about Sagittarius. Okay. When you don't question it, that's when you need to be concerned. Because it's like if you're in a space of transition, if you're coming upon something completely new, it's okay to have like an idea of what to expect, but I wouldn't go into something completely new with a knowing and with an understanding, especially when we have letting go and attachment as the energies. And behind this is the root portal. And I talked about the root portal earlier today. Is that the promise? The promise is behind the root portal. Um, It's not the sacral portal, so not going to talk about it here. But it's like if you're entering this brand new space with this energy of not being able to convince of anything otherwise, you're bringing old programs into a new space. And if you run old programs, you're going to get the same old games you used to play. You can't click run on an old file and assume to get anything different than what it always gave you. It doesn't matter what computer you take it to. You can get literally the latest computer, but if you pop in Oregon Trail and you hit play, you're going to be playing Oregon Trail. And it isn't necessarily going to update the graphics just because you have it on a new system. It's the same cartridge, it's the same game, it's the same program. Doesn't matter where you take it or how many times you upgrade the software or the hardware. If you continue to run the same file, you get the same thing. So I feel like this actually isn't a bad thing. But I do feel that it's time to close out some karmic cycles with this as well. And that's what we have this Ten of Swords here for, which is the space of I don't remember how these were anymore. Wait, it was this. Yep, it was this. This is how it was. Which we have with the Eight of Cups. We have karma and the Ten of Swords, closing those karmic cycles in this space of releasing. And to close these karmic cycles, you got to see them. You got to take the blindfold off. And again, because I've been watching Sanders sides lately. Thomas Sanders popped up on my YouTube, and I've been watching and enjoying. And yesterday was this two-part video about accepting anxiety, right? And anxiety in moderation, not only is it normal, but it's also healthy because it keeps us from doing things that we probably shouldn't be doing, or it keeps us alert and aware in situations when we can use it. Now, too much anxiety to the point where it impairs our ability to live an otherwise, productive life, that's when we may want to seek out a professional to help us learn to manage it. Right. But a certain amount of anxiety is perfectly normal. Not only normal, it's actually like a good thing. And like in the space of a mother, she probably should be concerned about, oh my gosh, what if my baby does this or my baby does that? Right? Like when those mommy sense I'm not a mom, but when those mommy senses start tingling and you're like, I feel like my baby is doing something that they're not supposed to be doing, and then you go in and your baby is, I don't know, playing with the knives or something, running with scissors. It was I saw that the one video of it was like a little kid running, and the mom was like, "What do you have in your hands?" And the kid was like, "A knife." And she was like, "No." It reminds me of that, like a little, like that's that protective instinct, and it's fine. But again, it's like it's about moderation, and it's not to go to the point where it sort of acts to our detriment. Then over here with the Six of Swords, we have the High Priestess and the Three of Wands, and I love this energy. Letting go is the way to go. Releasing is the way to go. There we go. Releasing is the way to go. I think your intuition is telling you that this is the way. It's trying to get you to close some of these karmic cycles. I think some of these karmic cycles are related to ways that you used to cope and deal with things in the past. Because I think it kept you from actually closing these cycles. With the Eight of Swords and the World card, it's like maybe you thought you were doing something, but you weren't actually doing it. And that's why it still bothers and affects you as much as it does. And we correct for the past by moving forward into the future. Ain't nobody got to beat themselves up over anything. It's about what we're doing in the now moment to get to where we want to be. And I think it's time to start facing and addressing some of these things and ending these cycles, because it feels like that's what we know we need to do to move forward with this Three of Wands. And I feel like, honestly, because the Three of Wands is looking at the High Priestess, I feel like as we go, we're actually going to know more and more what it is that we're supposed to do. Or at least that's what I'm feeling. So that was this. How long have I been live? Ooh, an hour and 15 minutes. I was just going to come on and complain about being tired because of the super new moon. My gosh, goodness. Why you like this? For the past few days, all I've wanted to do is sleep. Maybe it's because, like I said, I can finally sleep now. I ain't been getting that dream or that message of like, why aren't you saying this? You're supposed to say this. What are you doing? And then I'll be like, oh, I'll say it when I wake up. And then I wake up and I forget. Oh, the magician. So we're going to get a final message from the Witch's Tarot. And then we'll get a final message from the Magical Dimensions Oracle cards and activators. Then I'm going to go to sleep. I might eat some of these Pop-Tart bites before I go to sleep. I've been obsessed with Pop-Tart bites. I'm such a sheep. I see a commercial. I go, ooh, I want that. That's why I tried Pop-Tart bites. That's why I tried the Grande Stacker at Taco Bell that I am obsessed with. I love the Grande Stacker. I'm so, like, my body has become so finicky with some stuff. Like, if I eat too much meat, my body doesn't like it anymore. If I eat too much sugar, my body doesn't like it anymore. If I indulge in anything that I used to like, my body doesn't like it anymore. I can't even eat freaking like hot Cheetos or like Takis or even flaming hot Doritos, because whatever they use to spice it up, my body doesn't like it anymore. I'm like, oh my gosh, but my body doesn't hate Taco Bell. I can't even eat like more than one McChicken at McDonald's, but I can get a whole grande stacker box and I'll be relatively okay. And I'm a fan of that energy. So I don't know. We all know that Taco Bell ain't real meat. Right? Final message from the Witch's Tarot, please. I don't know why I started talking about that. Oh, the King of Cups. Oh, and the Holy See. Who is this? Is this the King of Swords? The King of Cups and the King of Swords with the Wheel of the Year. What? Hold up. That's not the final message. Oh, Hangman. Boo. Usually I'm a fan of the Hangman. The Hangman and the Moon card are two of my favorite cards because they're Piscean. I think the Moon card is misunderstood. Like, well, I say I like the Moon card until I don't like the Moon card. The Hangman, to me, it's just an energy about taking our own path in life, marching to the beat of our own drum, and seeing the value in our own unique individual perspective, journey, and experience. And the moon, to me, honestly, a lot of times I think of it, again, maybe it's the Pisces in me, but I think of it as the things that we can't yet see. But not all that lies in the dark is bad. Not all that lies in waiting is evil. Some of it's these beautiful things that come to us in the space of dreams before they come to us in reality. But it's like it depends on how you look at it. Maybe the star is actually the card that I like and not the moon. Because then that almost makes more sense. I don't know. The King of Cups and the King of Swords, they didn't come out, but like, because there was like this card that was a little bit out like this. Well, the Two of Swords is there now. Two of Swords and the Hangman again. I just randomly pulled a card out the middle of the deck to show y'all how this was sitting. Two of Swords and the Hangman again. But it was sitting like this, like it was on top of the cards, so it didn't actually fall out. What's up with the Two of Swords and the Hangman? Indecision. Shouldn't be surprised that this card came out as much as I've been seeing this thing lately. The Seven of Pentacles. This is an energy of cultivation. We have releasing, we have attachment slash releasing, the guardian slash breakthrough, and manifesting. So I guess I shouldn't be surprised that the Seven of Pentacles energy is here, especially since this energy is so heavy and so prevalent. This is what we're energetically feeding these crops, right? We have our spiritual coin and then we have the physical pinnacle, and we exchange spiritual coins for physical things, right? Like tickets at an arcade or something. Exchange it for prizes. Bottom of the deck is Le Magician, the magician, which is about manifesting, believe it or not. But it's using all tools at your disposal, right? So there's the cup, which is the heart and the emotion. There's the pinnacle, which it kind of feels like the vessel. Maybe the pinnacle is the culmination of experiences. There is the sword, which is the knowing and the understanding. And then there is the wand, which is the vision, right? So it's like you start with the vision, the wand, then you come into the water, you pour feeling into that vision to flesh it out a little bit. And then you bring in the sword, which is like the plan or the planning slash knowing aspect of like, okay, this is the vision, that's the feeling. All right, if I do this, this, and that, I can take care of this, take care of this, take care of that. And then last but not least is the pinnacle, right? Now, maybe there are previous experiences, maybe there are resources that this thing requires. Maybe that's just when it basically comes into you. I don't know. But we got the Seven of Pentacles right here. And plants are things that require water, fire through sunlight, and air through gases, like carbon dioxide. They take in carbon dioxide and they spit out oxygen. We take in oxygen and we spit out carbon dioxide. Sounds like we should stop killing trees to me. I'm becoming, I'm not annoyed, but I'm becoming so conscious about a lot. Like, I drink bottled water, a lot of bottled water. And we don't recycle in my hometown anymore because people were putting stuff in the recycling that they shouldn't have been putting in the recycling. So all of this plastic is going into a landfill somewhere. And then I'm thinking about how much garbage is going to the landfill somewhere. And also, my body doesn't want me to eat meat anymore. I'm just like, oh my gosh, what's happening to me? I'm a carnivore. A carnivore. That's how I identify. I just had a White Castle burger, the one with onions on it, and I didn't hate it. I actually enjoyed it. I got freaking bagels with onions on them. Goodness. Don't know who I am anymore. But these are the things that my body needs to sustain, to provide sustenance for the new me. Right? And it isn't necessarily the same. But that's what it's like when it comes to motherhood, mothers intuitively know. And so to be worried is natural, but to neglect it, to neglect your body, or to treat yourself as if you're not carrying something right now, it's more detrimental than beneficial. Like I was saying, right? It's like if you're pregnant, you probably shouldn't be drinking because fetal alcohol syndrome is a thing. You probably should be monitoring some of the substances that you put into your body because babies can be born with addictions. Imagine being like literally 0 days old and like already being strung out on something. Now, I don't want to talk about it too nonchalantly or flippantly because it's a reality. And it's one that like people come back from. I don't even want to say it like that. But like if you have the choice and the wherewithal and the ability to not do that to something that you're creating, then maybe sacrifice and forego a little bit personally until you can get. My grandma made cookies. Let's go. Today's a sugar day, apparently. Ice cream sandwiches, cookies, and gummy bears. Plus, I got these Pop Tart bites. Sorry. So, and I think that's part of the thing about that like the Eight of Swords and the Karma card. And no, it was Ten of Swords and Karma, the Eight of Swords and the World card. I think that's part of like these things that we don't even know are impacting our ability to create and manifest. We'll discover them more and more as we intentionally work through those different layers of the ego that need to be stripped away in order to lessen the burden and the resistance on this brand new life that we're basically trying to create for ourselves. But again, if you run, it doesn't matter how new your system is. If you run an old program, you're gonna get the same old output. If you pop in the Oregon Trail, it's gonna be the Oregon Trail. It ain't like you're like, let's put in the Oregon Trail and expect, I don't know, Super Mario. Like, girl, that's not how that works. That ain't how that works. The card that came out is Magical Realms number 28. So first we had Manifestation 29. Here's Magical Realms number 28. Magical Realms is belief, confidence, and co-creative power. Bottom of the deck is the Guardians. Shielding, defense, and warning. Under Guardians is Manifestation number 29. Under Manifestation is Utopia 43. Okay. I just wanted to see if like it would be three cards that I just had. I was like, wow, I didn't shuffle these well. The Guardians and Manifestation. This is interesting. Maybe this is ancestral, but it feels like, oh, okay. It feels like the Guardians are manifesting certain things for you, but what they're manifesting for you is lessons that will make you a guardian on this side. Just like I said earlier about how there are people who are open to be used to bless other people, and there are people who are open to be used to stagnate and attack and go after other people in negative ways as well. But it's like with the guardians and manifestation, it's almost like you going through some of these experiences are going to put you in a position to provide some type of guardianship for some folks on a physical 3D way, maybe primarily for people who, for whatever reason, aren't able to communicate with their own guardians and spiritual team in that manner. Or maybe they're going to use you to bless a lot of people or do something like that. And so I'm going to read Magical Realms and then I'm going to end this. Number 28, 22, Ice Queen. I love Ice Queen. Magical Realms. Magical realms resonates to trust in the unseen and magical realms. Trust in the unseen. That's the moon card I was talking about. Just because you can't see it don't mean it ain't possible or potential. I'm a Pisces. Get into it. All souls are all endowed with the ability to commune with otherworldly and interdimensional beings. And as belief in their existence grows in strength, the ability to also communicate and co create with them becomes possible. Crossing the boundaries of these limitations provides the confidence and trust in the soul's enormous power for creation into reality. It is only in your perception that you may be in limitation. Believe and know that you are far more powerful than you realize. Trust in this. Reach out to the elementals to cultivate trust in your own abilities. The energies around you are vying for your attention. Listen to the wind, sea, earth, and sky, and your answers will swiftly come. You have the ability to create your own reality. Believe in this. Cat's eye and diopside are the crystals, with bay laurel being the essential oil. And I love that because we saw the Eight of Wands with that Ace of Pentacles when it came to the Wheel of Fortune under manifestation. That's what manifestation was all about. But the Hermit discovering those things within themselves around justice was the page. No. The Moon and the Two of Pentacles was around justice, which is about holding fast to those things those things that are yet unseen, even in a space where it's not validated on the external. Because then what it'll do with that Wheel of Fortune energy is it will swiftly, or more swiftly take you from the space of needing to balance your internal world and your external world, needing to balance what you know to be true with what you see to be true, and bringing them into this space where they can occupy the same space in a harmonious way, right? It reminds me of, um, oh, what is it? It's one of the Diceology cards that says collision or cohesion. And it's about worlds coming together. And either they'll come together in a harmonious way or a disharmonious way. Anyway, that's that. I'm gonna go. I hope y'all have a good whatever whenever you see this. I hope you're acting in alignment. The thing that I needed to say, apparently, was that brighter days are not only coming, they're already here. And the energy is already here. So that's why it's so important to begin acting in alignment now, and to begin closing out these things that we need to close out, and to ensure that as many of us do that as possible, or to ensure that we have ample opportunity to do that. You're probably going to have lots of Eight of Swords, Ten of Swords moments. And again, it's not to tear you down or destroy you, it's to put you in a position to see the things that limit you, and to see ways that you handle things that may not be as productive as some other ways that you can handle them. And it's about acknowledging what's happening in the moment. And sometimes when we acknowledge what we're feeling, it's about really diving into those feelings, right? It's like, why are you sad? Sad about what? Why are you disappointed? Like, in what ways are you disappointed? Um, why are you feeling anger or frustration or whatever? What is the source? Because when we get to the source of it, we can address it. And to stop at, like, it is important still to acknowledge all of your feelings, but to stop at the feeling is to kind of sort of sell yourself short on your ability to do something within your own power to make you feel better or help you feel better. But those are all things that we have to do for ourselves. It's already here. We just got to align to it and the like. So that's what I got. I hope you'll have a good whatever whenever you see this. I hope you're acting in alignment to make the best possible case, your case. I hope you're making your dreams a reality day by day, moment by moment, second by second, decision by decision, choice by choice, thought by thought. And the thoughts that we give weight and importance to, that's what matters more than what you think, right? If you think a bad thought, if you think a counter manifestive thought, that's fine. It's how much weight you give that thought. And it's where you allow that thought to take you. How far outside of your manifestation zone you're willing to go. Because the further you are from it, the more delay that you put on it. But I don't know. I don't know. What do I know? I'll catch y'all whenever I catch y'all. Hopefully not tomorrow. Hopefully I get some work done.